press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear students, in the previous class we learnt about the different types of materials. The materials are those, the matter of which an object is made is called as material. Materials is classified into natural material as well as the artificial material. See, next we shall move on to the properties. Properties of materials includes hardness or appearance, hardness and the transparency. In today's class we will start with the transparency and many more points will be start. See, properties of materials in which appearance or luster, see, properties of materials includes, first one is appearance, hardness, transparency and the solubility. See, appearance or the lusters are those materials which appear shine when the light falls on them, are called as appearance, lustrous property, and some substance which do not shine when the light falls on them, and such materials are called as dull. It shows the dull appearance. The best example is gold and the silver, steel spoon. These are some substance which shows the property of a luster. And the second one is hardness. See, when we touch the materials, we feel that it is hard and it is soft. Like that, based on the materials, we can feel by pressing it and by dragging the shape of this material. For example, iron. If we touch the iron, we feel that it is a hard and we can't change its shape. By hammering only we can change its shape. If we press the iron, it will not change its shape. And one more example is the cotton. See, if we touch the cotton will be pressed and we can change by dragging into the cotton. See, like that we can change the shape of a cotton. And the next one is transparency. The materials on the basis of transparency classified into three types. One is transparent, opaque and the translucent materials. Transparent materials are those materials through which an object can be seen clearly, are called as transparent material. See, for example, glass, water, air, etc. These are some examples of transparent material which possess the property of transparency. See, and next one is translucent. Another type is translucent. Translucent material are those material through which we can see an object but not clearly, and such materials are called as translucent material. Example of this one is oil paper and the muslin cloth. Through muslin cloth we can see the object or we can see the light but not clearly, like as we see in the glass. That is transparent material. See, next one is opaque. Opaque materials are those materials which can't see the object clearly, not clearly or not partially. Totally we can't see the object, and such materials are called as opaque material. And next we shall move on to the solubility. See, we see varieties of substance in our surrounding and in our home also. How we can say that the particular substance is soluble in water? See, there is one question arising in our mind. See, if we take the salt or sugar and pour into the glass which contains water and stir it. Stir means what? Dissolving. Try to dissolve the sugar and water, sugar in the water by spoon. Like that we can completely dissolve the substance. How we can say that it is a completely dissolved? See, the substance which is dissolved in water will completely disappear. Then we can say that it is particular solute or the substance will dissolve in water. For example, see the properties of materials. Appearance is completed, hardness is also completed, and the transparency is also completed. And next one is solubility. See, if we take the beaker or the tumbler and here some water is present and sugar or salt. See, solubility. Solubility means nothing but the substance which is dissolved in water completely or disappear the substance will be completely, and thus we can say that the particular substance will be soluble, and the process is known as solubility. Say for example beaker. See, in the beaker, or you take the any container and through which water you have to pour and take sugar and salt, a small quantity of sugar and salt you take and pour into the water and stir it using the spoon. See, by stirring or by dissolving the water, the sugar in the water, so that the sugar particles or the salt particle will disappear completely. Then we can say that the particular substance, that is sugar and salt, will dissolve in water, and that process is known as solubility. See, here sugar and the salt acts like a solute. And here water acts like a solvent. See, what is the difference between solute and the solvent is, water acts as a solvent, means what? It is having the power to dissolve many substances, and that's why water is usually or sometimes usually called as universal solvent. See, once again I will tell you solubility. It is the another property of a material where the substance which dissolve in water completely or disappear completely, we can say that the particular substance is soluble in water. See, the process is known as solubility. See, what will happen? Take a tumbler and in which water is small quantity of water have to take, and sugar or the salt particles we have to add, so that it is settled to the bottom, and now stir the or dissolve the sugar particles which we pour in the beaker with the help of spoon. Now what will happen? After some time the sugar particle will be disappear, means what? we can't see the sugar particle because it is dissolved in water already. See, like that we can do this activity which having the property of a solubility. See, here sugar and the salt which we added, and sugar and salt we call it as a solute. Solute is nothing but the substance which is added to the water are called as solute. And the water acts as a solvent because it dissolves many more substances, and that's why water is also called as universal solvent. It is very important point. See here. See, solute means, I will rub here. Water, this one. Solute is nothing but a substance added to water are called as solute substance, and the water acts as a solvent, means it is having the power or capacity to dissolve many substances, and that's why it is called as, water is also called as universal solvent. It is having the power to dissolve many substances, and this is how the process of solubility will take place. See, the properties of a materials in which we are learning now, solubility. Solubility is divided into two types. One is soluble substance and another one is insoluble substance. Soluble, insoluble. Soluble substance are those substances which can dissolve in water. See, soluble substances are those substances which dissolve in water. Insoluble substances are those which doesn't dissolve in water are called as insoluble substance. See, soluble substance are those substances which dissolve in water completely. Dissolve means what? When we pour the solute substance to the water, it will later, when we stir it, later it will disappear completely. And those those substances we call it as soluble substance, which are dissolved in water completely. We can't see after dissolving dissolved substance, we can't see the particles of sugar and the salt. See, like that, those substances are called as soluble substance. And insoluble substances are those substances which doesn't dissolve in water, means it will not dissolve in water, and such substances are called as insoluble substance. Example of this soluble substance are as I told, sugar, salt. These are the example of soluble substance. Whereas insoluble substance, example, chalk powder, sand, etc. See, this is how solubility, it is a property. The property of a material which shows the soluble whereas and insoluble properties also it shows. See, in solubility, the process where the substance will soluble in water, and this process is known as solubility. Solubility is comes under two main headings, in which first one is soluble substance and another one is insoluble substance. Soluble substance are those which dissolve in water completely or disappear in water completely. When the solute particle added to the water, what will happen after dissolving it? The solute particle will disappear or dissolve completely. See, like that. See, whenever guests come to our home, usually we prepare sharbat. See, this is how this property, that is solubility property, will applied in our daily life. See, like that, sugar and the salt will dissolve in water, and here we come to know about the soluble substance. And next one is insoluble substance. Those substances which do not dissolve in water completely or disappear, doesn't dissolve in water completely or doesn't disappear, also disappear and dissolve. These are the two main points here. Completely are called as insoluble substance. Example is chalk powder and the sand. If we put the sand in the water and try to dissolve it, after long time also it will not dissolve in water completely, so that it is an insoluble substance. I will write here. See, in one beaker I will put salt in a water. This one I will label as A. I will put this salt into the water, and the next beaker I will take again water here, and here I put sand to the water. This one will I labeled as B. See, in these two beakers, see, this one is a soluble and this one is, this beaker contain insoluble substance. See, how can we say that it is a soluble and this one is a insoluble? Means when we add the solute particle, that one is a salt. Salt is acts as a solute particle because we add it to the water, and here sand is also a solute particle because we are added to the water. See, both are the solute particle, and here I take the water, and here also I will take the water, and this water acts as a solvent because it will dissolve many more substance. See, when we dissolve salt in the water, what will happen? Completely it will dissolve and disappear. Disappear means what? Kanodilla. See, it will not clearly, not we can see the particles of a salt or the sugar. See, like that. And the water and the sand which is added to the water, it will settle at the bottom for long time. If we dissolve one whole day, it can't be dissolve or disappear in the water. So, here sand is a insoluble substance. This activity shows that some substance will be soluble in water, whereas some are the insoluble in water. See, the following table gives us the information about the different types of soluble substance as well as the insoluble substance. See, soluble substance and insoluble substance I will take in the beaker now. See, this is a one beaker and I labeled as a A, and this one I labeled as a B, and this one I labeled as a C, and here labeled as a D. See, in this, among this beaker, equal amount of water is used. See, in each beaker equal amount of water is present. See, water, water I have to take. See, in beaker A I put sugar, in beaker B I put chalk powder, and in beaker C I put salt, and in beaker D I put washing soda. See, in each beaker I will put water here, and in each beaker equal quantity or equal amount of water I will take here, and like that in each beaker there is a different solute substance is added like this. In beaker A I will put here sugar, and in beaker B I will put here chalk powder, and in beaker C salt and the washing soda. After we taking this solute particle or added to the solute particle to the water, completely we stir it so that we keep aside for some time. What will happen? The sugar is soluble in water. See, this table illustrates that one. The change observed from this activity, the changes will appear or observed. Disappear, completely in water. So, inference means conclusion. So, we can say that sugar is water soluble. See, in this first activity, that one is I will take the water and sugar, I have to pour. What will happen after stirring it or after dissolving it? The sugar particle will completely disappear or dissolve completely. Thus, we can say that the sugar, the change we observed is disappear completely in water. Is it not? When sugar is added to the water, it completely disappear and dissolve. And inference nothing but the conclusion, means result. Sugar is a water soluble. So, we can say that sugar is a water soluble. And like that, next case, salt. See, in the third I will take salt disappear completely. And salt is a water soluble. Like that we can say. And the chalk powder, see, chalk powder, if we dissolve in water, what will happen? It do not disappear in the water and do not dissolve in water, and that is the changes observed is doesn't disappear in water. Doesn't disappear in water, and chalk is a water insoluble. And the next one is washing soda. Usually washing soda is used for washing the cloth, and this washing soda, if we dissolve in water, what is the changes we observed is it disappear in water completely. Disappear in water, and thus washing soda is a water soluble. See, this is how we can say that there are different substances which dissolve in water, and like that different substance also doesn't dissolve in water. See, once again I will tell you, solubility is a process of dissolving substance in the water, and this process is known as solubility. See, in short it is there. See, solubility is divided into two types. One is soluble substance and another one is insoluble substance. Soluble substance are those substances which can be dissolve or disappear in water completely, and such substances are called as soluble substance. And the next one is insoluble substance. Insoluble substance are those substances which doesn't dissolve in water and doesn't disappear in the water, are called as insoluble substance. Example is chalk powder, etc. This one is the example of a insoluble substance. Like that, see, when we put water into the beaker and now small quantity of sugar or the salt powder if we take and try to dissolve in the water, what will happen? It will completely dissolve and disappear, and then we can say that it is a soluble, completely it is soluble. Like that, we can say that some of the substance will dissolve in water. If we take the sand or the mud inside the water, pour the water which we take in the beaker, if we try to dissolve in one day, after leaving that one, if we keep aside for some time, what will happen? It remains as it is. It doesn't disappear in water and doesn't dissolve in water. So that we can say that sand is an insoluble substance. Say for this one solubility property, there is one activity is there, and this activity here in each beaker water is present. Half quantity of water is taken in the beaker, and like that small quantity of sugar have to add in a first beaker, and like that chalk powder is also added in the second beaker which contains the water, and here salt and the washing soda we have to take. After dissolving this sugar, salt, chalk powder and the washing soda, what will happen? Some of the substance will dissolve in water completely, whereas some substance which doesn't dissolve in water completely, and such substance are called as soluble substance and the insoluble substance. The following table gives us the information about these substance, in which first one is sugar. See, from this activity sugar I will take here in a beaker and dissolve in water. What will happen? The changes we observed in each beaker is sugar disappear completely in water. See, if we add it to the sugar to the water, after stirring it, it will disappear completely, and thus result or the inference it shows that sugar is a water soluble. We can prove or we can say that it is a sugar is a water soluble, and like that salt disappear completely, and thus salt is a water soluble. Like that. Next one is chalk. See, chalk doesn't disappear in the water. See, you can try in your home also with your elders' help. See, chalk doesn't disappear in the water, and thus chalk is a water insoluble because it doesn't dissolve in the water. If we take the chalk powder here and put in the water which is taken in the beaker and try to dissolve this chalk powder into the water, what will happen? The chalk powder remain as it is. So that we can say that chalk powder is a insoluble substance which doesn't disappear in the water. This one is a changes observed, and the chalk is a water insoluble. And the next one is washing soda. Washing soda disappear in the water. See, usually washing soda is used for cloth, washing the cloth. See, if we pour the washing soda into the water, what will happen? Disappear in water, completely it will disappear. And this washing soda is a water soluble substance. This is how we can make the different types of substance to classify into this soluble substance as well as the insoluble substance. See, next we shall move on to the solid. We discuss about the solid substance, and the next one is liquid substance. Solubility of different liquid substance in the water. See, as I told, water acts as a universal solvent because it is having the power to dissolve the many more substance. See, like that some other liquids are also there, and these liquids like petrol, diesel, ether, etc. These are the substance or the liquid which dissolve the substance completely. See, according to the liquid, there are two types of liquid is there. One is miscible liquid as well as the immiscible liquid, as you studied in 5th standard. Miscible liquid and first we will learn about the miscible liquid. Miscible liquids are those liquids which mix with water completely. The liquids which mix in water completely, and those liquids are called as miscible liquid. And one more point is there, immiscible liquid. The liquids which do not mix in water are called as immiscible liquids. See, some of the different solubility of different liquids in water, in which first one is miscible liquid. See, as I told, water is a universal solvent because it is having the power to dissolve many substances. Like that, not only water, there are many other liquids are there which dissolve the liquid into soluble form, and that one is a petrol, diesel, ether, etc. These are some liquids which is acts like a solvent. And see, in which liquids is divided into two types. One is miscible liquid and another one is immiscible liquid. Miscible liquids are those liquids which mix in water completely, are called as miscible liquid. And the immiscible liquid, the liquid which do not mix in water, are called as immiscible liquid. In miscible liquid, example is milk. See, if we put the water into the milk, what will happen? It will completely mix it. And see, those liquids are called as miscible liquid. And the immiscible liquid example is oil. See, oil is also a liquid. When we put oil to the water or any liquid substance, what will happen? It will float and it will not completely mix up it in the water, and those liquids are called as immiscible liquid. See, this is how the liquids can be divided into two types. See, the following table gives us the information about the solubility in different liquids in water. See, I will write here one by one. See, here also the same column is there, only thing is liquid. See, first one I will write here, milk. Next, kerosene oil. See, kerosene oil is nothing but semen. See, third one is vinegar. Coconut oil. Shampoo. See, the substance I will write in the first column, where milk, kerosene oil, vinegar, coconut and the shampoo I will take here. See, this is the solubility of different liquids substance in water. Whether we know or check whether these substance will soluble in water or mixes completely in water or not. See, I will erase here this one. Liquids is classified into miscible liquid and immiscible liquid. Example of this miscible liquid is milk. Example of this immiscible liquid is oil. See, this is how liquids can be divided into miscible liquid and the immiscible liquid. For this one, there is one activity is there like that, as we did in the solid substance, solubility of a different solid substance into water, like this. See, I will put the beaker here, I take, in which I have to add water. See, water we have to take in the beaker, and here we put the milk. See, milk is a liquid and we have to dissolve or we have to pour in the water. See, I will label as A like that. In beaker B, same water I have to take and kerosene oil. If we add it to the water, what will happen? Later we'll know. Beaker C, water and vinegar. See, in beaker D, water and oil. See, when we comes under the heading of solubility, there are soluble substance and insoluble substance, both are present, and in which liquids are present, and these liquids are immiscible liquid as well as the miscible liquid. Immiscible liquid example is milk, and miscible liquid is example is milk. How we can say that it is a miscible liquid? When we take the water, see I will write here, see, in each beaker I will take the quantity of water, and in each beaker I will put different liquids here, and see, in the first beaker milk I have to pour. See what will happen if we pour the milk in the water, it will mix us completely, and thus it is called as miscible liquid. Example is milk. And in kerosene oil, in the second beaker, if we put kerosene oil in the second beaker in which water is present, it will not mix up in the water, it will floats on the water. See, we can say that kerosene oil is a immiscible liquid. Like that, vinegar also mixes in water, and thus that way it is called as miscible liquid. And oil which do not mix in water, and that's why it is called as immiscible liquid. See, the following table gives us the information about the different types of liquid, and changes we observe and the inference we come to know. See, in which first one is milk. Milk completely mixed in the water. Mixed in water, and inference means nothing but the result. Milk is a miscible liquid. Miscible liquid. And next one is kerosene oil. Kerosene oil do not mixed in water, and that's why kerosene oil is a immiscible liquid. And next one is vinegar. See, vinegar is a completely mixed in water. In short, I will write here, mix in water, mixed in water, mixed in water completely, and that's why it is called as miscible liquid. And coconut oil. Coconut oil is a do not mixed in water, and that's why it is called as immiscible liquid. And the last one is shampoo. See, shampoo usually applied to the hair during the washing. When we wash our head, that time we apply different types of soaps and the shampoo. Shampoo is also a completely mixed in water. Mixed in water, that's why it is called as miscible liquid. See, this is how different types of liquids are dissolve in or mix in water, and some of the liquids which do not mix in the water. And this table gives us the information about the different types of liquids, in which first one is milk is completely mixed in water. This one is a change we observe when we dissolve this milk in the water. And inference, it is say that milk is a miscible liquid. And the next one is kerosene. See, kerosene is a doesn't mix in water, and that's why it is a immiscible liquid. And next one is vinegar. See, vinegar is a mixed in water, and it is called as miscible liquid. And like that, coconut oil doesn't mix in water. When we pour the water, and here 2 to 3 drops of coconut oil, if you pour the water and try to dissolve, it doesn't dissolve in water, it floats on the water. Like that, coconut oil is a immiscible liquid, it doesn't mix us with water. And next one is shampoo. Shampoo is mixed in water, and that's why it is a miscible liquid. See, this is how solubility of a different substance like a solid substance and a liquid substance is classified, in which soluble and insoluble substance are there, whereas in liquid substance, miscible liquid and also immiscible liquid is present. See, next we shall move on to the another property, that one is a float or sink. See, this is the last property, and this property is the some substance or the objects may floats or the sink. Floats means surface on the water, it will floats. And next one is sink. Sink means water, it will completely immersed in the water, and this is how substance is classified. See, if you put stone, paper, plastic items in the water, what will happen? Some of the substance will float on the water. Near the surface of the water, it will floats, and where some other substance will sink in the water completely, and such substances are called as non-floating substance or the sink substance. See, example of these substances are water, paper which floats on the water, next to plastic bottle, plastic jug. See, these are these different types of substance which floats on the water. And the next one is example of the substance or the object which sink in the water. Example is glass, wood, stone, etc. These are sink. See, this is how the materials or the substance which possess the floating or sink property. See, example of these objects are paper, plastic bottles, jug, plastic jug which floats on the water or near the surface of the water, it will floats, and here this one will call it as a float. floating substance. And next one is glass, wood, stone. When we throw into the water, what will happen? It will settle down to the bottom of the water, and that's why it is called as sink. It will sink into the water, and this is how the substance having the property, that one is a float as well as the sink. See, there is one table is there which tells about the some substance will float on the water, and whereas some other will be sink in the water. See, I will write here. Substance, float or sink. Teaspoon, plastic mug, glass, plastic bottle, stone, etc. See, I will write in the first column, there are different types of substance which may floats or which may sink in the water. See, in which first one is steel spoon. Steel spoon floats in, sink in the water, is it not? When we put the steel spoon in the water, what will happen? It doesn't float in the water because it is a heavy in nature, and it will floats in the water, sink in the water. See, here I put sink in water. And whereas plastic mug, when we throw the plastic mug into the water, what will happen? It floats on the waters or near the surface of water, it is present, and this we call it as float. And like that glass, if we throw the glass into the water, what will happen? See, glass will sink in the water. And like that plastic bottles also, we see various types of sea and different types of ocean. Many more people will throw the plastic bottle. It is very dangerous for throwing the plastic bottle to the water, so that it will not degradable. Degradable means what? Koletu hogalla. See, it will not degradable. It is a very dangerous for the land also. It creates the land pollution. See, this plastic bottle is a float in the water. And next one is stone. If we throw the stone into the water, or you take the water in the bowl and try to pick up the stone, small stone, you put in the water, what will happen? It will sink in the water, and that's why it is having the property of sink. See, now this table tells us that some of the substance will float on the water or surface of the water, it is present, and some other are sink in the water when we throw into the water. See, steel spoon sink in the water, plastic mug floats in the water, glass sink in the water, plastic bottles float in the water, and the stone sink in the water. See, this is how different types of materials are classified on the basis of floating nature and the sink nature. See, from today's class we will learn about the different types of materials, and in which properties of materials, in which first one is hardness, appearance or the luster, solubility, transparency, and the sink and the floating object. See, from this we can conclude that there is a sorting materials into group. We can classify different types of materials according to knowing their properties. We can classify. Some of the substance will hard in nature, some other are soft in nature, and some other are shining in nature, and some other are very dull in appearance. Like that, solubility. Solubility in which comes under the heading that one is a soluble substance and insoluble substance. Like that, the liquids is divided into immiscible liquid and the miscible liquid. And next one is transparency. See, transparency comes under the three main headings. One is transparent, translucent and the opaque object. And the last one is objects may be floats or the sink. Some objects will float on the water, whereas some objects will sink in the water. And this is how we can classify the different types of materials which we see in our surrounding and which we can present in our home and any other places. We can classify different types by observing or by looking at the properties of such materials. See, this is all about the sorting materials into groups. Thank you.